big poppin'. Money in the bank coming, dropping a deposit. Having it my way, so I got these bitches watching. Steady getting to it, couldn't fit it in my pocket. Flexing everything, baby, tell me big poppin'. Money in the bank coming, dropping a deposit. Having it my way, so I got these bitches watching. Steady getting to it, couldn't fit it in my pocket. Flexing everything, baby, tell me what the topic.
What's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to the bar. It's your favorite goss and bartender, that girl Henny. And tonight we are pouring up. Watch it all fall out. So y'all make sure that y'all go and y'all tell a friend to tap on in, because Henny is pouring up again. Now I know it seems like I kind of just left y'all hanging and stranded with all of the Karmelo Anthony stuff that was going on. But if truth be told, I was trying to grow my Instagram account, because I do have another Instagram account that goes by the same name, official That Girl Henny. So if you are not following that IG, please be sure to follow that IG. I am going to be keeping up with all things that I speak about on this channel on that IG page. And the other IG page, well, that's going to cater to the gossip and stuff that I do over there when it comes down to Krishan, Blueface, or anything else that I feel like is reviews worthy. That's where it's going to go. So you guys want to make sure that you are following me on official That Girl Henny on YouTube. Shout out to everybody who is following over there, because I am creeping up on 9K in a short amount of time of me being active on that page. I'm so grateful and so very, very appreciative to everyone who has begun to follow me. So welcome to all of the people who are new to the bar, and let's get started. So tonight we are going to be talking about Tasha K and Cardi B. Dun, dun, dun. Because when we last left off with Tasha K and Cardi B, Cardi's attorneys were dragging Tasha into court because she was violating their agreement that they agreed to during the bankruptcy. Because let me just bring y'all up to speed. So y'all know initially Tasha K and Cardi B went to court, and Cardi sued Tasha K for defamation. Cardi won her case for $4 million, and Tasha K has not paid it. All right. There was rumors of her hiding assets and all types of things. And then Tasha K decided to file Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And Cardi said, you're not about to include my lawsuit in that. And she fought her on it, and she won. And so Tasha K has a schedule that she's supposed to follow with the way that she is supposed to be making payments when it comes down to that particular lawsuit. Well, in there was also stipulations that Tasha is not supposed to be talking about Cardi or anything Cardi related, her family or any of that. But Tasha's been doing it anyway, especially around the time that Cardi was giving birth to her last child. She decided that she was going to launch this full-on attack on Stefan Diggs, and talk about Cardi's still husband, because they still have not gotten a divorce, Offset. And so Cardi's lawyers kept filing with the courts. And so Tasha, she had already told us a little about what was going on with this case when she took to her, I guess she was on her stream or her live podcast that she was doing. And she was telling us about her attorney, and how her attorney, who's new to the case, how he, was like a nervous wreck. And she was sitting back laughing at him because he hadn't dealt with this type of a situation before. At least that's what she's saying. I'm pulling it up for y'all. Give me a second as I scroll, because y'all know I have the content. So let me get this up here for y'all really quickly. Let me share my screen. All right. And then let's get this screen the way that I like my screen, because y'all know I don't like this. We're going to do it like this. Bang. All right. And then we're going to do a little something like this, where we're going to zoom in. And this is what Tasha had to say about this case.
Court, man. I swear to God, he's a good bankruptcy attorney, I promise. But I was like, Chad, listen to me. You don't know what you up against, bro. Listen. It's best you just go in and nod, okay? You don't say shit. You just nod, yes or no. Don't say nothing. Chad came out of court today for 3 hours and got his ass towed out the front. And I'm just looking at him. He's like, man. I said, what happened, Chase? You got fined. I said, who got fined? You did. I was like, then he said, we did. I said, wait a minute, we. Hold up. We both got fined. He said, yeah, I got to pay 10% of your attorney fees. I said, what? Apparently, it was a shit show today in court. Nobody was prepared. It is what it is. Okay, I said, chat, listen, I'm used to losing. Okay? I'm used to losing. But I always overcome. Okay? What's the solution, brother? Hey, brother, stay with me.
So that was 7 weeks ago when Tasha, was making light of the situation and laughing and snickering and giggling about it. Well, I don't think she's snickering and giggling too much these days anymore about this case because, hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let me fix this. Bang. All right. I don't think she's laughing and snickering and giggling too much because Tasha, this is the latest filing that was filed on June 30th. Okay, this was filed. And it's a stipulation and agreed order establishing and compromising the fees and costs of awards, approving guarantees of the compromised amounts, and establishing the Rule 9011 sanction against debtors' counsel. Yes. Yes. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and read all of this to you guys. We will go ahead and read all of this over on Twitch because on the Twitch bar is where we read our court documents and we watch things, but we come over here and we summarize everything. So as you can see, this right here says that the order is as follows, that the stipulation was approved as set forth by, the parties, and that fees and cost awards were established. So, Henny, what does all of this mean? Well, the bankruptcy court basically approved and agreed to an order resolving the attorney fees and costs awarded to Cardi B for Tasha K. All right. So what she said 7 weeks ago was actually correct. All right. And so the bankruptcy court judge approved a stipulation between Cardi B and several guarantors. Okay, guarantors are people who are stepping in and saying, look, we gonna make sure that she pay this and that we gonna keep her in line. And those guarantors include Sheck, her husband, I want to say Yellen Entertainment, but I know it's Sheck, it's Quatel LLC and Stash Media. Those three have stepped in and said, we are going to guarantee you that she's going to pay this, right? So where does all of this come from, Henny? Because obviously this is not from the original $4 million lawsuit. This is from the bankruptcy, okay? And so this was filed on May 13th of this year. And the sanctions basically where the bankruptcy court found that Tasha K, they found her in civil contempt of her Chapter 11 confirmed order for multiple violations of the agreed disparaging clause. I don't know why I can't talk tonight. So basically, when Cardi B agreed to go into this payment arrangement with Tasha K, where Tasha could pay her X amount of dollars, right? The stipulation, like I said to you guys earlier, was that she couldn't make any disparaging comments. She couldn't say anything about Cardi, couldn't say anything about anybody around her. And so the Chapter 11 court, the bankruptcy courts, found Tasha K in contempt of the agreement that she made with Cardi B. And so under the, hold on one second, y'all. It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? I know where my children are. All right, let's just, because I don't feel like getting up to go get the phone. All right, there we go. So Cardi B's counsel filed an affidavit seeking a total cost in fees and costs of $110,115.75, made up of $87,797.34 for compliance. Okay. Now, under the new agreement order, that $110,115.76 was established solely for the purpose of the settlement order, right? However, the parties agreed to compromise on Tasha's payment obligations. So instead of paying that full $110,000, Tasha, if she complies, she has to pay Cardi B a settlement amount of that $110,000 of $60,000. So basically, they agreed and said, look, Tasha, if you make your first payment of $30,000 within 28 days of the entry of this order, and then you make your second payment of $30,000 on December 31st, 2016, we're going to take that to settle the debt of the $110,115.76. But if Tasha decides that she wants to be defiant and rebellious and not pay a dime of the $30,000 within 28 days or by the 31st of this year, then guess what? Cardi has to file a notice of default, and then Tasha and her team have 5 days to settle the debt. And if they don't settle the debt, then it's going to go right back to the full amount of $110,115.76, and it's going to become due immediately. So there ain't going to be no more shucking and jiving and trying to wiggle your way around and make another agreement or none of that. So Tasha K needs to pay up $30,000 in 28 days. And then another $30,000 by the end of the year in order to settle this. And she still has to pay her payment arrangements for the arrangements that they made on that $4 million that she still owes Cardi B. That's accruing interest. Now, they also, in a separate order, that Rule 9011 sanction that was put on, that was against Tasha's counsel, Chad, the one that she was laughing about. And he has to pay $2,231.84, which is 10% of what Tasha K has to pay. And that has to be paid within 28 days directly to Cardi B. So you see, Tasha deciding that she was still going to talk and speak on anything that is even damn near close to the orbit of Cardi. Cardi is not playing with her. So Tasha, you just signed that TV deal and all of that stuff, whatever it is that you just signed, baby, you better go on ahead and you better pay this girl her money because she's not playing with you and she's not going to stop. Exactly. Cardi will file without hesitation. You better damn know it. All right. So that is what's going on in the orbit and the world of Tasha K and Cardi B. Now, moving right along to the next subject at hand, baby, I don't even know where we should go. Where should we go, y'all? Let's go on over here to the game. So let me take this down. Because there's a new court date coming up. Okay. All right. Y'all can see this. Yes, y'all can. Let me move this so I can see this. And let me zoom in a little bit for y'all. So as you can see, this is a screenshot from the California courts. All right. And it looks like The Game and Pricilla Rainey are going to be going back to court on the 15th of this month. Now, I know a lot of people are like, well, I thought that case was over. No, the case is not over because remember, his house went into foreclosure. And so with his house going into foreclosure, if there were any debtors, like if he had a loan still out, which by the way, if you remember, WAC did refinance that home without The Game's knowledge, allegedly. And so when that house went into foreclosure, things like that get paid before a civil suit gets paid. So Pricilla, after everyone got their money, the loan company, the oh God, I forgot what it's called, but you know, everybody has to get their money, the sales tax and all of that stuff. She would get whatever was left over. Now, sometimes there's something left and sometimes there's not anything left. And now she's going back into court. But my thing is, and what I'm getting ready to look into is how many properties does the game actually own? Because Pricilla could put another lien on another home if she so chooses to. And not for nothing, Blueface better be paying attention because his home is in foreclosure too. Remember, I told y'all that Blueface is going through a similar situation with the nightclub having the lien on his home. And you know, now there's a foreclosure stipulation that foreclosure that's coming out. There's a second lien on his home that was from the homeowners association for him not paying his fees. Yeah. Sorry, y'all. So he actually has 2 liens on his home right now, plus whatever mortgage payments that he wasn't paying, that got a foreclosure placed on his home. Okay, so those mortgage people, them people gonna get their money first, and then the nightclub will get whatever is left over. Now, what I found interesting today when I was doing Showdown is that Carlissa was on the phone with Blueface, and she said something that caught my ear that made me think back to when Blueface was in prison and we was trying to figure some things out. I don't know if that's it or not. Bear with me because I have to find the clip. But we're going to go over to Instagram for a second, and I'm going to pull this up, and hopefully we can find the clip really quickly. I meant to find it before I came live, so I apologize to y'all, but bear with me because Carlissa said some things and I was kind of like caught off guard. Okay, maybe it's in this one.
How our baby doing?
He's 4 pounds.
Now, for those of y'all who don't keep up with the Blueface universe, so Blueface and Nevaeh went to the doctors yesterday for another ultrasound. This girl gets more ultrasounds than anybody I know. And they got the baby's weight and all of that. And so Carlissa is calling while they're on stream. Blueface is telling Nevaeh not to deal with his mother because his mother will snake her. If she doesn't do what Carlissa wants her to do, she's going to snake her, put her business out there. She's not really being cool with her to be cool with her. She's being cool with her just so she can get information out of her. And we already know that this is what's going on because Carlissa, while Nevaeh allegedly is calling Carlissa every day, it seems that Jaden knows, which is Blueface's first baby mama, knows that Carlissa is having conversations with Nevaeh and that Nevaeh be calling Carlissa every day crying about the stuff that Blueface do. Child, listen, it's a whole ass mess. Blueface done accused Carlissa of grooming Nevaeh the same way she groomed Jaden, but she couldn't groom Krishan. That's why she didn't like her. But anyway, let's see if this is the one that I'm talking about. If not, then we'll check. But there's something I want y'all to hear.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to her.
Look at you just stalking us.
He's 4 pounds.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to her.
Look at you in the
How's
bed.
our baby doing, boo?
He's 4 pounds.
Okay, good. Okay, 4 pounds is good. Okay. The second thing I want to say is, Jonathan, do not say I've gotten into it all your baby mamas. All your baby mamas got into it with me, correct?
Fuck you, don't.
Hey, stop.
Tell them again,
Oh, and if you didn't know, Nevaeh's son has a potty mouth, just like Pinkface.
baby. See, that baby reads spirits through the phone. You heard him? He said,
Mom,
fuck you.
don't hit me. I'm gonna whoop you.
Here, you talk to her.
I'm gonna whoop
That
you.
logic,
My spirit through the phone.
that logic is crazy.
Let me go down the list. Hold on. I got to do this.
You
quick.
wanted to
Chat.
call her. He wanted to
Chat,
call
they
you.
all got into it with her. She ain't get into it with none of them.
So when they started calling me bitches and hoes, I reacted like
Bitches.
most mothers do. You didn't call me a bitch before too.
You
but I know
started-
I know you got a caucus mother, so you ain't hip to the game.
You started it first. You called
You got a caucus mother.
me a bitch first.
No.
Yeah.
Yes, she did call her a bitch first.
Yes.
The first time we met, and we ain't gonna go there because we ain't gonna go there. 'Cause I
Oh, go there.
my baby.
Oh,
She don't want to go there because she don't want to tell. We getting there because I believe this is the clip. Hold on, y'all.
I ain't gonna lose my
I would
baby
love
mama.
for you to go there. Just give her a little taste of where it could go. Just let her.
I already let her know when she jumped over that rail on me. I let her know I don't play with kids.
Yeah, he bopped her right in her
Kids, I'm
shit.
rude
Huh?
as fuck. Okay, keep going.
You a kid
all grown people say that.
You bopped her right in her shit, huh?
You a kid to me.
Elderly people say that.
If I would have fell on you, you would have felt some type of way too.
You gotta go.
Out of all the people in that motherfucker, why me?
Right? You gotta go upside her shit.
Know what's going on?
Yeah.
First of all, we gonna run down the line.
Slapped her all in her shit.
I got the floor. When I got active with his first baby mama, it was after she called me a lot of bitches and a lot of hoes protecting her man. So if me and Jonathan is into it in the future, is that your business or not? If me and my son going back and forth, is that your business or not?
No, that's your mama and
So
son business.
Step in me and my son's business while I'm cussing him out and try to cuss me out or not?
Have I done it?
Is that normal behavior for any woman when I'm talking to my son that came out of my ass?
Okay, this might not be
Jaden
it.
ass too for that. You
I did not touch Jaden. I squished the food on the floor because she
my bad. Yeah, you're right. You threw food on her.
She called me a fucking liar and she knew I wasn't
Mommy, look.
Nah, hey, you like that though. I ain't gonna lie.
I got this.
You be really slapping these bitches up.
And Jaden is like my daughter. So yes, if I tell her to jump, she better say how motherfucking high. Yeah. Because I raised her from 13 years old up until now.
That's how you got it. Hey.
Right.
Okay, so that wasn't it. I'm sorry to subject y'all to Carlissa. Changing her heart once the man got saved. I don't think that's it. I think this is it.
I want
That's right, girl. You big mama. Hey, you punking these bitches. I can't go against the grain. You punking them. You slapping them and telling them it's cool.
Imagine that.
Right? Beat that bitch up.
You already over there see how much dog shit gets in that backyard, right, baby girl? Now imagine another motherfucker trying to bring another dog, and I'm working at the restaurant 10 hours a day. I said I wasn't taking care of nobody else's fucking dog, and I meant that.
You talking about Jaden?
You know exactly what I'm talking. Jaden don't even do fucking animals.
How we?
The only animal she done thus far.
I thought we was talking about Jaden. I didn't know we was talking about some other people.
I was running the shit down in order. Jaden only got into it with me because she was mad at you, and I didn't allow her to take it out on me, calling me no fucking liar. And I've been with her since she was 13 years old, and she ain't never called me no fucking liar before.
Nah, I feel you. That's a good.
Some parents,
that's a good reason.
Call no fucking liar.
I get. That's a good reason to beat her ass. I'm with you, girl.
I guarantee I didn't beat Jaden up, so why would you lie?
What you said? What you did? You threw food on her?
I ain't beat up nobody.
Oh, you just said they get into it with you and you the problem solver.
I said Nevaeh would have beat your ass already and fucked you over twice if she wasn't calling me first to calm her ass down.
I think this is it right here, y'all.
So you need to rethink your steps, motherfucker.
I would just call you.
Need to do.
I would just call you to beat her up.
Piss people off real bad.
I would just call you to beat her up. You the sledgehammer.
You need to think real bad about whack too. You need to think about a lot of money.
You need to think real bad about whack too. That's what she said. You need to think real bad about whack too.
Motherfuckers, I done calmed down from doing you real wrong and
motherfuckers, I done calmed down from doing you real bad. What was Wack going to do to Blueface that Carlissa talked him out of it? And if you look at his face and you look at Nevaeh's face, it's something there. It's something to it. Let me move this watermark. It's something to what Carlissa's saying to him right now. Y'all remember when Blueface was locked up in prison? Yeah, real raw. He was going to do something real raw to him. Whack, think about this. I want everybody to travel back into time with me. Blueface is in prison. Blueface gets into some shit. He gets stabbed. Right? That's what happened. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Carlissa and Whack are real tight. really tight. Blueface's brother Andre was on this here internet warning his brother and warning us, the people, the public. It's on this channel somewhere. Telling us that if anything happens to his brother, that Karlissa and Wack did it. And he warned Krishan to stay away from them, to be careful when dealing with them. And now Karlissa is saying this on the phone to Blueface. Blueface comes home from prison and Blueface is in multi-million-dollar debt, which I didn't tally up. I'm gonna tally that up for y'all and I'll put it on my Instagram page. But I'm not gonna bother to tally it up now because I don't even have I don't have my paper that tells me what it was the last time when I did it. I know it was like 19.4 something, but I need the numbers so I can give y'all the exact number. So I'll make sure that I give y'all what he has. I'll tally it up for y'all so y'all can know. But as of right now, Blueface, with all of the accrued interest, including both the lien from his HOA and the foreclosure that was placed on his home, is sitting in $19.4 million worth of debt. Now, other people are saying other numbers. People are talking 20 million this and this million that. Baby, I've been following this from day one, and y'all know it. I've been following this since he caught this back in 2024. Okay, I've been following and keeping up with all of that and keeping up with the lawsuits that he has filed on record with him. And it is $19.4 million right now as we speak, as far as I know, until I get a new tally in. But that sounds to me like Wack is already doing him dirty because he made sure that he keeping Blueface in debt. And Blueface is also partnered with him on just the content or nothing but content, whatever the hell that shit is called. Blueface is a partner with Wack and R&B on that as well. Okay. So let's not forget how Wack does his tricky little things that he do to keep people indebted to him. Okay. Let's see. Now we done talked about Cardi B. We done talked about the game. Let's talk about Kodak Black, y'all. Baby, I don't even know where to begin with this, okay? I don't even know where to begin with this Kodak Black case. Let me go to my other page for y'all real quick because I have it all written up over there. See, this is my other page, y'all. Make sure y'all are following official That Girl Henny. Now, this is Kodak Black's baby mama's case. I do have the paperwork. I am going to read a little bit of it, but let me give you a little backstory. So according to the police, okay, Jemiah Broomfield, which is Kodak Black's baby mama, was arrested on April 15th of 2026 after detectives spotted a black Tesla they believed had previously fled from law enforcement. The investigators say they attempted another traffic stop on that Tesla, and Broomfield, she took off and was driving recklessly in an effort to get away from them. And before abandoning the vehicle and taking off, in an effort to get away before abandoning the vehicle and taking off on foot. So she jumped out the car and started running from them. And she was eventually caught and taken into custody. Now, following her arrest, she was charged with trafficking approximately 29.5 grams of methamphetamine, resisting an officer without violence, driving with a suspended or revoked license, and violating her probation. Okay? Now, she has filed a motion, this motion right here, which is the same motion that was highlighted over there on the other page. She has filed a motion. Oh, damn. Okay, whatever. Oh, here we go. With the 15th Judicial Circuit for Palm Beach County in Florida. Okay. Now, the motion for bond says that the defendant is currently being held with no bond for VOP. Defendant has significant medical needs that allow her release from Broward County Jail on 4 felony VOPs in case numbers, and they give the case numbers. Defendant is HIV positive and requires Biktarvy, I believe is how you say it, her prescribed antiretroviral medication. According to her patient care coordinator, this medication is no longer provided to inmates and therefore discontinued while defendant is in custody. As testified in open court by Zoom on June 26, 2026, when out of custody, defendant has access through her family to obtain Biktarvy and avoid any adverse health consequences. Defendant's next hearing in Broward is on September 11th, 2026. So basically, she's asking to be released on the grounds of her having an HIV status and no longer being able to get her medication. Now, this is a good shit. How is this public? Baby, you see it right here. This is a public record. This is a public record. Filed Palm Beach County by the Palm Beach County clerk. They didn't bother to blank out any of that. And they left that open to the public. Now, a lot of people, this conversation, this right here has sparked a lot of conversation with a lot of people because people are saying this is messed up, it's foul, and it's fucked up that she is not able to get her medication just because she is a prisoner inside of the prison. She should still be able to get the medication that she needs. But it's also making people wonder what the hell is going on with Kodak Black, because if your baby mama has this status, do you have this status? So I don't know what his status is. Was this a violation of her HIPAA? Yeah. Unless she waived her right for it to go into a public record. But it's a public record now, and it's something that is publicly known now. Just so y'all know, I'm not the only person who posted this. But I don't know. You know, and it just for me, there's no dragging to be done on this at all. But it's just a sad situation. You know what I'm saying? And it just goes to show you how much prisoners are not given rights. They don't have health care privileges or any of that when they're in there. And she has a status that needs to be taken care of. Now, here's the thing. Here in Florida, they already voted on and passed where they will no longer be providing people's HIV medications for them on Medicaid. So I didn't know that that would affect someone who's in state custody, who is state property. Didn't he have trafficking charges not too long ago? I believe so. I would have to go look into his actual charges, but I feel sorry for her. My prayers do go out to her. I understand what she did was wrong, you know, but they could do electronic monitoring for her, maybe, as long as she's able to get her medication. You know, I think she should be able to be released for medical reasons. Okay. What I will say is, even though Palm Beach County, when they filed this, they should have redacted this personal information, and she probably has a lawsuit against them for leaking her information, which is a HIPAA violation for sure. She probably can sue the hell out of them. And if I was her, I would. But the upside of that is bringing public awareness to what's going on in the prison systems when it comes down to people who have HIV statuses. Because if it's a life-sustaining medication that keeps a person healthy, that's like telling a diabetic that they can't have their insulin. And you know that if they don't have their insulin, they're going to expire. So I'm praying that she's able to get the bond that she's looking for, because That's a horrible situation to be sitting in, and I don't wish that on anyone. Moving right along, you guys. So Karmelo Anthony, as y'all know, there's been a lot that's going on. People are doing a lot of sharing of information. People are breaking down all types of things. But baby, please feast your eyes on this documentation right here. Okay. This is a document that was filed from the Courts of Appeals in the 5th District of Texas at Dallas on June 29th. Now, this name up here, Earl Lingham Jr., Indigenous American Indians. Now, I'm not trying to leak his address or any of that, but it appears that Mr. Lingham decided that he was going to file on behalf of one Karmelo Anthony. Child, this man is not a part of Karmelo's team at all. We done already met the dream team, and he's not a part of it. All right. But apparently, Mr. Lingham submitted a package of papers on behalf of Karmelo and sent the $300 money order. Baby, let's get into it. So the courts said to Mr. Lingham, this is them responding to him, all right? The court has received the package of documents signed by you and the money order of $300. The documents state they were for the Western District of Texas Territory Superior World Court of Records and the Western District of Texas Territory. Those are not this court. None of these documents appear to seek relief from this court. Also, even if the documents were to seek relief on behalf of Karmelo Sincere Anthony, the documents do not appear to be signed by any attorney who is a member of the State Bar of Texas and who represents Mr. Anthony in this appeal. Accordingly, the court will not file, will take no action on the documents. We are returning the documents and the $300 money order to you, baby. Baby. Mr. Lingham, when I did a little diving on him, is a person who is what did they call it? Shit. Let me look and see real quick, because I think I screenshotted it for myself. Mr. Lingham is considered an unlicensed next friend or an unauthorized representative, and he has a history of filing documentations on behalf of other people for their civil rights. Honey, as serious as this case is, and as serious as we have been taking this case, we now have somebody trying to insert themselves into the case as one of his attorneys. The clownery of it all. I can't. We can't make this up. A history of nonsense and carrying on. Exactly. Exactly. A history of nonsense and carrying on. The courts are very well aware of who this man is because he has filed. Okay. Now, me and Henny Legal was laughing about this because we like, wait a minute, what is going on? This man just inserted himself and said, I'm going to file these documents on behalf of Karmelo Anthony. Mind you, Karmelo don't know him. There is no association to him. And this man is not even a member of the bar. Okay. And the court said that. All right. The documents right here, the documents do not appear to be signed by any attorney who is a member of the State Bar of Texas and who represents Karmelo and Mr. Anthony in his appeal. So the courts are saying, we already know that you are not a part of this team. We know all 6 of the members that he's got, and you ain't one of them. Mr. Lingham, please don't go in here messing with this case. Okay, this case is very important. And while you may want to get your 15 minutes of fame or insert yourself into this, I think you should just sit down and let the professionals handle this one. Because, yeah, we don't want it. We don't want nothing that is going to hinder anything in this case. Now we're going to take a pause for the cause right here because Moneybags seems to be a Henny Gang member who is disgruntled because all he does is come in here. It's him and it's a Keisha girl that likes to come in here and talk about food. Go get some McDonald's. Do you like breakfast sandwiches and all of that? I'm not profiting off of anybody's pain. Let me explain to you what a platform is, Moneybags, so you can understand it, because clearly your brain is too small to comprehend what's going on up here. See, by me putting up that document about what's going on with Kodak Blacks' baby mama, I'm in no way trying to exploit her situation. But because I do have a platform that has almost 20,000 people that follow me and watch the channel, and while there may not be a lot of people in this live, my replay gang often does run up the lives. So even if I just get to 2,000 or 1,500 people or 5,000 people watch this video, that means that there are more people that are available to be able to put eyes on this situation and be able to speak out about what's going on. See, I brought up that case because I wanted to talk about how people in prison are not being given the proper medications that they need, especially when they have a status like that, in order for them to be able to, I don't know, get some help. When you have a platform, you have a voice. And so you use said voice to help others. Now, do I get messy? Yes, I do. But this ain't one of them times. So, baby, have a seat in the back and shut the fuck up while I'm up here cooking, bitch. Anyway, back to your regularly scheduled programming. How is everybody doing out there tonight? It is a pleasure to have you all here with me, tapped in and tuned in to everything that is going down and going on, because, baby, it has been a lot. Let me go ahead and get these right here, and let me get our little going, okay? Because for this next story we about to talk about, it includes one India Ari and another. And the other, who is the other, you ask? Well, it's going to be Young Miami. Baby, Young Miami done pissed some people off. And I think that people are just feeling like this is not the time, nor the place, or the space for any of this. Matter of fact, let me do y'all one better. Because I do have the screenshots. But let me go ahead and let me pull this up over here on the Instagram, so we could go right to the page. And let me get this up here for y'all. Because we gonna watch how the peoples was responding to this when she got up there on the stage. Is that it? Oh, shoot. Oh, we need to talk about Daphne Joy too, baby, because some peoples was out here feeling so sorry and so bad for her. And I was telling everybody, no, she was questionable for me when it came down to her and the whole Diddy situation. And now it seems that she's really proven me right. So this was Young Miami. I can't play the whole song.
What's up, BC? Okay, let's get into this.
So everybody was on their feet, ready to spin that shit. And India Ari and one of her homegirls said, no, this what we not gonna do. So she said, not everybody wants to get free. Now, India Ari says in a tweet, she said, the mass acceptance of this song itself is a crystal clear sign of the bigger problem. I finally realized that not everyone wants to get free, and it was a very rude awakening. So I'm going to say this. In light of everything that is going on within the Black community, we've had multiple people turn up being lynched. Okay. Just recently we had Tania Miller, who was hanging in a tree out there in Cherry Gwen in Miami. You've got the young man in the Carolinas, the two in Mississippi, the one in Georgia, and then you just had another one in Georgia, Justice Kai James, and we're going to get to him in a second. So, and then with all of the Karmelo Anthony stuff that's going on, we're watching racist things being blatantly put in our face. It's no longer being hidden. You got Jake Lang out here who was doing his little disrespectful rage baiting and race baiting out there in front of the BET Awards, which he ended up getting chased away from, with his signs talking about black parents are failures or whatever the hell it said. And then the other poster with the black people as monkeys. So yeah, we've got all of this going on. So there's a lot of people that are very sensitive, highly sensitive to what is going on right now. And India.Arie has always been a very conscious, woke person. So a lot of people are divided. Some people are agreeing with her and some people are on the other side. Now, another person who joined in is Here's Why Kevin said, this woman stood by and defended a man accused of rape, human trafficking, revenge porn, assault, attempted murder, and more. We all watched him beat the shit out of a young woman he groomed since she was 17 years old. She wrote a character witness statement on his behalf. She also doubled down on her statement that if her sons were gay, she would beat his ass. And what did y'all do? Give her a song of the summer. Y'all are the reason we'll never be free. And that was in response. India.Arie says, I finally realized not everybody wants to be free. And it was a very, very, very rude awakening, shaking my head, because the mass acceptance of this song is a crystal clear sign of this much bigger truth. But India and Why Kevin are not the only ones. You also had Miss MJ Tilda, who said, I'm calling for a boycott of Young Miami's song Spin That. I believe it's degrading to our culture. At some point, we have to take seriously the power music has over our perception and the values it reinforces. This can't be the song of the summer. So India.Arie says, I spent my entire adult life caring way too much because I finally learned that not everyone cares, with a capital C. And explaining it to them is not going to make them care. Everything you listen to, see, or eat is going to influence you. So make wise choices, y'all. And then there's one more tweet that says, are you surprised they still eat McDonald's? And so India.Arie says, no, I'm not surprised. I'm disappointed. Now, I do want to point out something. And I'm not saying, I'm not blaming Young Miami for this. I'm blaming these people for this, because did y'all hear about these people? Janice Dowes and her daughter, Janice Wiley, the mother and daughter that went into Nordstrom and stole Louis Vuitton bags and then did a TikTok to spin that shit with the stolen merchandise.
Spin that shit. Spin that.
One of the most prolific organized retail thieves in Western Washington is facing new charges. Janice Downs, a.k.a. Janice Smith, a.k.a. Punchy, is back in jail after just getting released from prison in January. Bellevue police say one of the best clues came from a TikTok video made to Young Miami's viral song Spin Dat about boosting and scamming.
You can't make this shit up. I mean, you could, but why? Why? The mama did a video with her dumb self, that part. Baby. And y'all are known for doing this, and you gonna do a TikTok with the hot merchandise that was just, if I was her daughter, man, I don't agree, and kids putting their hands on their parents, but this is one time that I feel like, girl, spin that shit. She bringing out the scammers and the boosters. But what you don't realize is we are no longer in the back in the day era where you could go and you could do all of the shit that you did before and get away with it. I feel like there needs to be more energy for the men rapping about unaliving other blacks and drugs. That's been going on since the late 80s. But this song is where we draw the line. Listen, I hear what she's saying about music in general. But I do also agree. Listen, I see it from both sides of the fence, okay? If I'm being honest with y'all, I see it from both sides of the fence. I understand the message that she's saying. And with me, I say, I do agree that music has a horrible influence on a lot of people, okay? It's influenced a lot of the generations that have come up listening to gangster rap, drill, and all types of stuff, okay? But I don't believe that it should fall solely on the artist as well, because a lot of us listen to gangster music and we drove down the street in our minds. We was pushing them keys thinking, we was the biggest goddamn drug dealers in the area that we were in. Okay. Cause shit. I listened to some stuff about people going to go rob people, but I ain't never robbed nobody a day in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, so some of us know better, but I do feel like there is a level of responsibility that has to be taken when it comes down to the artist and the listener. It doesn't all just fall on one person. So I see both sides of the coin and I understand where she's coming from, but I also agree with what Beyonce said. Like, that's the song we're going to draw the line on. What? Okay. We're drawing the line at Young Miami, y'all. And I also agree. Now, I agree with the young man who said what he said, because, Young Miami kind of did leave a bad taste in my mouth with all of that stuff that went on with Diddy. And she was kind of like, I get it, stand by your man. But I mean, girl, have you seen? Have you heard what your man was out here doing? Because, girl, we done all seen and heard what your man was out here doing. Did you miss that? I know you didn't miss that. Speaking of gangster rappers, I have something for y'all. Now, by show of Henny Glass or Butterfly, how many of you have heard that 50 is supposed to be performing at Donald J. Trump Jr.'s exclusive event where membership costs you $500,000? Did y'all hear about that? Child, listen. Ebro was not here for it at all, and Ebro had a lot to say.
I don't like it. Let's just start. I think it's whack.
And these other names. How about,
I think it's whack for all of y'all. Ja Rule, Buster, 50, Timberland. I think it's trash.
I agree. I agree with Ebro. It's trash. I don't like it.
I think it's trash. And I know y'all don't need the money. So let's put that on. The reason y'all are doing this is because you want the business relationships and you see these business opportunities for yourself. So
you don't think in some cases just grab a bag?
I don't think it's just grab a bag. I got a private.
The $500 for an easy private performance.
It's not five. No, it's $500 membership for the club.
We don't know what they get paid.
We don't know. I don't know what they're getting paid, but yeah, okay, maybe it is.
So this is a social club, okay? And this is coming up very soon. All right, because 50 is supposed to be doing this performance on July 3rd. Allegedly. Because I haven't heard him confirm nor deny whether or not he was going to be there. I haven't heard any advertisement come from him, but this is what the rumblings are, that 50 Cent is reportedly scheduled to perform at Executive Branch, an exclusive members-only club in Washington, D.C., co-owned and co-founded by Donald Trump Jr. The rapper is expected to headline an event on July 3rd, 2026, on the eve of America's 250th anniversary. The exclusive club is located in Georgetown, charges an annual membership fee of $500,000, and previously hosted performances by other hip hop artists like Busta Rhymes, Ja Rule, Timberland. This reported booking follows previous comments from 50 Cent where he stated he turned down $3 million offer to perform at a Donald Trump rally in 2024 to avoid political entanglement. So now he's no longer trying to avoid the political entanglement, obviously, because he's tangling himself right on up all into it.
It's just a bad. But a lot of these dudes, even when you see, who do we see? Ivanka Trump and Hove and B, and they were sitting at the fundraiser table, right? Like it's all just big money. It doesn't mean that 50's vote. First of all, I don't even know if 50's ever voted. So as much as he's chimed in on politics, do we know if he's actually ever cast a vote?
No, he's never endorsed anyone.
Right?
50 would not be progressive.
I'm not saying he would. I'm just saying
for people to be surprised, what ideals has he ever espoused that would make you think he's like on board with like great progressive ideology?
My thing with all of this, and I'm y'all want to watch the clip, y'all can go check out the clip for yourselves. Ebro, Rosenberg, and Laura Stiles started their own podcast after they were let go by Hot 97. But here's my thing. Why 50? Why would you ever? Now, I like my bad. What part didn't y'all hear? Okay, let me just start over. I respect everything that 50 Cent has been doing down there in Shreveport with building his studio, employing people, etc., 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 right? But when it comes down to this, I feel like you've let the people down, because why would you ever go and perform? I don't give a damn if it's Donald Trump Jr. I don't give a damn if it was Donald Trump's grandson. Anything with the Trump name on the end of it at this particular point in time is not a smart move for you to do. Talk about people side-eyeing you heavy. I wouldn't be surprised if people started trying to cancel 50, but I don't think anybody is going to cancel him because everybody loves power. So then there's that. But don't boom, right? Nah, we gonna let 50 slide because we can't, he bringing us power. So we gotta, we want to finish watching Raising Canaan, which, by the way, oh my God, I hope y'all are watching it. But anyway, if you know 50, he'll just troll everybody back that's trolling him, probably. He don't give a fuck. 50 does not care for real. Okay. If I don't care was a person, it's 50 Cent. Now, I know people have already talked about this, but I didn't talk about it. And I meant to talk about it the day that I actually put it out. But we're going to spin the block on Karmelo Anthony really quickly, because Megan Metcalf, by now, I know you guys have probably heard that Megan Metcalf was speaking out and that she did an interview over there on TikTok. And some of the stuff that she said, I feel like it gave the defense what they possibly need to be able to bring this case on home for Karmelo Anthony. Now, Henny, what are you talking about? For those of y'all who don't know what I'm talking about, during the trial, it was said that Karmelo Anthony was talking about the team. What were they called? Was it Liberty? What the hell was the name of their damn school? Anyway, he was talking about the team that the Metcalf boys were playing for. And he was saying that they were ass, that their team sucked and all of that. And the more I think about it, I really don't think that Karmelo was talking to either of the twins. I really think that he was just talking to Eddie. Him and Eddie were having a conversation, and Eddie, you know, he's telling Eddie that y'all are ass, y'all suck. And so Hunter turned around and confronted Karmelo. Now, what makes me say that is because of Hunter's interview. Okay, do I need to play Hunter's interview? Is that what I need to do? Y'all want me to play it? All right. Let me go ahead and let me pull it up. Uh-oh. I don't care. I'm gonna stay like this. I don't feel like digging down and getting anything else right now. All right. So let's go ahead and let's pull this up for y'all so that we could go through it and we could have discussed it over here. I know some of y'all like to hear my thoughts on things. So let's go back. Let's flash back into time to when Hunter and his mother, Megan, did their first interview with WFAA.
Screaming that Austin had been stabbed. I was at work, and so I drove. I work in Grapevine, so I drove up to the hospital straight away. I actually beat the ambulance there. Yeah, I saw them have him come out. He was on a lot of machines, and it didn't take long for them to come in to say that he had passed.
We just got a little altercation, and that's really it. But he has a good heart. Everyone knows. Everyone around here knows he's great.
Ben.
Oh, man.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry.
He's a good kid. We just got a little altercation, and that's really it. But he has a good heart. Everyone knows. Everyone around here knows he's a great kid. He just one mistake from that dude, and just took my brother. Just he didn't deserve it. No one deserves a loss from a family like that. I know people that lose their family members all the time, but I just didn't know.
Thank you, Gold Digger.
My best friend and my brother my whole life, but if y'all could just not y'all, sorry. Just thank y'all for just comforting us in the Frisco area has been comforting my family and me, and I just really appreciate everything that everyone's done.
Okay, let me skip ahead a little bit.
It's a really hard walk. Cleaning the dishes together.
So technically your bigger brother.
Yes, ma'am. He does a lot of big brother stuff around. He's always on my back. Even if I'm in the wrong, he'll always take my side no matter what.
He's always had my back, even when I'm in the wrong, no matter what. Shout out to Gold Digger for the gifted membership. Thank you so much. And congratulations to T Jackson, who was gifted a membership. Yay! Yeah, we're going to be moving in the membership.
So, it's just really heartbreaking to see someone that cares for you that much and does everything, even by your side, no matter what, just pass away like that.
Mm-hmm. Your mom told me that you were there.
Yes, ma'am.
If you don't mind, what happened?
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless.
We asked him to move. We, meaning more than one person, asked Karmelo to move. We.
And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." He's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at my brother, and I'm not going to talk about the rest. So just that's just what I saw.
So his brother grabbed Karmelo's book bag. So if his brother grabbed Karmelo's book bag and you were able to see him grab Karmelo's book bag, how did you not see what else happened? Who put their hands on him? So there's already a hole in that story, right? But the main important core points that I wanted to point out that I'm quite sure others have pointed out already, because this story is how old? 5 days old now. I know this Henny is kind of old that I'm giving to y'all, but we got to mellow out just a little bit sometimes. So He said, we. And he said, Austin always had his back no matter what, even if he was in the wrong. So now let's get into it. All right. So this is the email that went out from the cheerleader to the coach. Now, I believe this was a cheerleader's mother who may have written this email, but let's get into it. Says, coaches, the other cheerleaders and I, well, no, there it goes. The other cheerleaders and I, the other cheerleaders and I have tried to make an effort to stay supportive and spirited throughout the football season. However, the disrespect we feel coming from some of the football players is making it very difficult. Now, stop right there and let's think about what was just said. She didn't say a disrespectful incident. She didn't say this one particular. She said the disrespect. So to me, when I hear something like that, that tells me that the disrespect is something that is ongoing, and it's been more than once that it's happened, okay? Today, after our game against Liberty, some of us cheerleaders in uniform went to Canes. While talking amongst ourselves about the loss, Hunter Metcalf stood up and yelled that my friend and fellow varsity cheerleaders is a fat bitch. I don't understand what triggers his rage. What triggers his rage? Not what triggered. What triggers his rage? So when you're reading the subtext to this text, it's telling me that, number one, thus far where we are, there's been more than one incident of disrespect. Number two, the wording of this is saying triggers, which means that it's been an ongoing thing of disrespect and that there's a history of triggering his rage. All right. But to yell this unprovoked made us all really upset and was incredibly embarrassing for my friends as everyone in Canes looked at her. Okay. It says, oh, damn, I don't have the top. Okay. Act out time. And they see it's cut off. All right. So basically she's saying that the Metcalfs, they act out time and time again, but we trust that there is repercussions or some sort of consequences. So we stay out of it. But they act out time and time again. They act out time and time again. And the cheerleaders stay quiet, trusting that there's repercussions. But for it now to be directed towards one of the people that shows up to every game to support and cheer them on is astounding to me. So this disrespect, this triggering of rage, this acting out time and time again has happened more than just once and more than just with the cheerleaders. But this time it was directed at the cheerleaders. And so now they're putting their foot down and saying something, okay? After they left Canes, one of the other football players told us that Hunter said his hands were bisexual, implying that he would not only hit guys, but also girls. I'm wondering if that's ever happened before. Where did he learn that behavior? Jeff, is this what you raised? Is this what you raising in your household, Jeffrey? She is not only embarrassed, but genuinely scared, especially after seeing the way he can act on field. Stop. So he acts out on the field as well, is what I'm gathering. Okay? I'm only coming to you because I feel that you should be aware that he is acting like this in public places, which is not good for our school's representation and is discouraging us to keep cheering them on. I'm sorry for having to even come to you about this, but after tonight, it truly feels like it's getting out of hand. I recognize that he may be upset that we lost, but there is no justification for the way he treated my friend tonight. I would also appreciate for my name to stay confidential, as I fear what they would do if they knew. I fear what they would do if they knew. So this picture that everybody is painting about them being these homegrown, good old kids that do nothing wrong and they just support their school and they're just as American as apple pie. It sounds to me like there's a little more to this than what they're willing to allow to be shared. Now, I'm also going to share this because, wait for the beep, and there it goes. I'm also going to share these. Now, I know these have already been read multiple times over, but I'm going to read them here because it paints a picture. Now that we've heard what the cheerleaders had to say, it's painting the picture. We're getting a full scope. Okay, so here are the text messages from Karmelo Anthony's trial, right, with the coaches. So it says, Coach, can you tell Austin to put on his black shorts? That's how it starts. But then it says, can you send this to all of our throwers? All right. You guys keep leaving early. So just know you guys are probably not going to the district meet. You dudes never stay and celebrate your teammates, and you guys don't win. So what value are you guys bringing to the team besides coming out and celebrating yourself? Let me read that again. You guys keep leaving early. So just know you guys are probably not going to the district meet. They don't stay and celebrate with their teammates. He says, you dudes never stay and celebrate your teammates, and you guys don't win. So what value are you guys bringing to the team besides coming out and celebrating yourselves? This sounds like they have not been team players. They are disrespectful. They are out of control. Again, they're known bullies. That's what that gives. They're known bullies. All right. Let's get into okay. So this is where that was sent. All right. You and Red are on the early bus. Get tint and whatever else we need. Set examples of how to conduct yourself today. Be a leader. I need you and Retta to hold us down. I will be helping with hosting the meet, so I'm going to lean on my older guys. Now, this is to Austin Metcalf, okay? Conduct yourselves as leaders. Nothing that was done that day says leader. Hey, bestie, baby. Nothing. And then we have the email from the cheerleader. But I think the most damning thing that we have now is Megan Metcalf speaking. Let's listen to what she had to say. Wait a minute. Nope. Sorry, that's the wrong one. We went the wrong way, y'all. Hold on. I know it's on a page right here.
If you know anything about the cheerleader email, we kind of talked to Brandon about it a little bit. He didn't go into too much detail because of his, and he just said like kids were disciplined, and that's
yeah. So the incident was that we had played Frisco Liberty that night and lost, and we should have beat them because they hadn't won a game in like 3 years. So, you know, the whole football team was frustrated and upset, and Austin and Hunter were physically upset even at the game. Like they got in trouble from the coaches because like Austin threw his helmet. Hunter was the one that who's kind of more of like he would get more upset about things. He went back out on the field and finished the game. Austin was like, I'm done. He was just, there was only like 2 minutes left and he was just pissed.
So already we're off to an interesting start. They're losing. They're throwing helmets and all of that. And I understand people are going to say that's just sportsmanship. I was a cheerleader once myself. And guess what? They threw helmets, but the football players did not have reputations for being assholes.
He was just in one of those moods. But after the game was over,
he's just in one of those moods.
Over him and Hunter, and I know for sure one other kid who was an offensive lineman went to Cane's to eat. And I'm going to be honest with you, the cheerleaders, I loved the girls. I wasn't a fan of the coach because as a coach myself, I was a volleyball coach for a long time. You want to encourage your kids to encourage the other teams and all those kind of things. And I felt like our cheerleaders just were like,
P. Diddy is a cheer coach. She's a cheer
what's
coach.
the point?
Yeah.
So already she's painting a narrative that the cheerleaders are in the wrong. Do y'all hear this? That's what I'm hearing. She sounds kind of Carlissa-ish to me.
What's the, like, they were just like, what's the point? This is, our team's trash, this kind of thing. And the girls apparently were talking about the game and making comments about how crappy our team was. And Hunter, more than likely said something nasty to one of them because that's how he approaches things. And Austin just, when everyone was like, man, I don't understand why you guys got to be like that. Like we're upset that we lost. And
Hunter probably said something nasty because that's the way Hunter handles things. So now flashback, to what was being said about what was going on underneath that tent. You've got Karmelo talking about the team is trash, your ass. Right? So who was more likely to be the aggressor to what Karmelo was saying? Because Hunter was sitting in front of Karmelo. Who was more likely to be the person who initiated all of this? Yeah, that's how he approaches things. That's exactly what she said. And I hate when people say that's just how they are. You know how when somebody is just rude, disrespectful, they do some diabolical shit and then people just be like, well, that's just how they are. No, it's not. That's just how they are. No. She's very passive. Very passive. Absolutely, T. Hunter would be the one to be the initiator.
This is how you're not even going to support us. So there was not like a physical altercation. It was more of verbal of like, you guys are assholes for not, you're supposed to be First School Memorial supporters and you're acting like we're shit. Mm-hmm. And you're cheerleaders on top of that. So fast forward to the email that was sent. From what I understand, the coach had talked to Austin and Hunter about just what happened on the field the night before. And then the coach had sent the email, and Coach Jackson, who is our head football coach, actually told them, if you have a problem, you need to go to the police because it was off campus. And there was nothing he's going to do because it was off campus.
What else happened that they would need to go to the police? What else was going on? Because here's my thing. Granted, they're at Cane's. So they're not on school property. They're not at a school function. So technically it's not considered school property. However, this is still something that happened with the students. So it sounds like the coaches didn't even get involved and do anything really. She's alleging that they didn't even really talk to them about what happened. That's what it sounds like to me. Like she's saying, oh, well, they didn't even talk to them really about the situation that happened at Cane's because it wasn't on school property. And so the coach told them if they really had a problem, go to the police. So it's like it just got swept under the carpet. That's what I'm hearing. I could be hearing wrong, but that's what I'm hearing from this. And it's a lot of excusing. And I hear like she's thinking about what she's saying because she doesn't want to say too much, but you've already said enough that I believe that once Karmelo's team is able to get a hold and a handle on this, I believe they already have this. This could be used as evidence against the case. This could be used to benefit Karmelo Anthony because she's describing their behavior and it's such a passive, and she's giving you an insight into the school. She's giving you an insight into what the school ecosystem is like when it came down to the Metcalf boys.
So nothing came of it other than, yes, there was a talking to. And again, I go back to the original fact. Austin would never disrespect a girl per se. Hunter, he could have some choice words for someone who was going to be disrespecting him.
Austin would never disrespect a girl, but Hunter could have some choice words for someone who was disrespecting him. In other words, Hunter would more than likely be the one who was the aggressor that initiated all of this. And Austin, by Hunter's own admission, always had his back. Even when he was in the wrong, Austin would have his back. So I'm going to ask y'all, is it possible that Austin caught a stray because Hunter was the aggressor, and so that Hunter didn't get into any trouble and he was allowed to finish out the school year without any hiccups? They just kept quiet. And they put it all on Austin because Austin's not here to tell the tale. Now, I know that may sound a little twisted to some of y'all, but am I off? What say you, chat?
I'm just going to be completely frank. That's just how he is. They were identical twins, but they were two completely different type of children.
That's just how he is. That word grinds my gears so bad when people say that, because it's just so nonchalant to bad behavior. It's just so freaking passive when they be like, oh, that's just how they are. That's just how they are. No, just because that's how they are doesn't make it right.
If you know anything about the
mom definitely should have kept her mouth shut. Now that goes on. There's more to that, but I wanted to focus on just that part of the live interview. I mean, there's way more that she said, and maybe we'll go through all of it in members, because again, that Henny is it's old. It's 5 days old. But, you know, I wanted to touch on it because I've been keeping up with the Karmelo Anthony case, and I wanted you guys to know what the hell is happening. At least from here, because some of you guys don't go anywhere. Y'all do just strictly watch and follow me, and I appreciate those of you who are dedicated to Henny, and I promise that I'll be stepping it up better for you guys. Karmelo doesn't strike as the mess talking type. He is team captain. Why would he go to the tent for that? Hunter dating Austin's girlfriend, according to the mother. Didn't she say that in that interview? I've been saying the same thing. I also am not sure that Austin was not hit by friendly fire. Exactly. Yeah, I don't know what the mom said. I didn't know what the mom said. Thank you. You're welcome. We'll get into more of what the mom said. Well, I mean, we could get into it, but I would rather, if I'm going to get into what the mom said, I would rather do a whole live on it and just basically touch on these points again and then listen to it with fresh ears with you guys so I can give y'all my true, raw, authentic reaction to it. It's an excuse that doesn't make them to be held accountable. Right. If Hunter doesn't change, he's going to prison. More than likely. Now I want to talk about this for a second because Megyn Kelly continues to be the most offensive podcaster that I have ever had the displeasure of watching. Well, she's one of the most offensive podcasters. Recently, Trump took back the temporary citizenship, for lack of better words at the moment, that was granted to Haitians. Okay. who were seeking refuge here in the United States. And so she's had a lot to say about this. And this was so freaking offensive. When I say that the racism is blatant and in our face and they're not hiding it anymore, this is a part of what I'm talking about. Oh, you're absolutely welcome, King CJ. And I promise you, we will go through the Megan Metcalf audio probably tomorrow, okay? Because it's getting kind of late tonight and I don't want to stay up late myself and I don't want to keep you guys up. But this is what Megan had to say when it came down to this is what she said.
Going on for over a dozen years. Go home. Get out. We know our country's better than yours. That's because we filled it with our work ethic and our culture and our values.
Lies. You filled it with enslaved people and forced your culture and your values on those enslaved people who built this country through blood, sweat, and tears and at the crack of a damn whip and the heel of an overseer while all on a plantation of a massa. Stop the bullshit.
You being here only dilutes it for us, those who built it and lived.
Those who built it, I don't feel deluded as a descendant of slaves. I do not feel that Haitians coming here to this country dilute anything in this country. In fact, I feel they add to. But let's let her continue.
Live it. And half of you people, more than half, you won't assimilate. We don't want you. We don't care if you're offended. Get out. Go home. Go back to fucking Haiti.
Whoa. Tell us how you really feel, old Meggie Pooh. How do you really feel? Go back to fucking Haiti. And Sirius XM is continuing to allow her on their airwaves. You people. She's really delusional. Like she really is whitewashed into believing that this country, they built this country. You didn't build shit. Okay. And when you weren't cracking a whip over us, you had free labor from prisoners who were the new modern slaves. The chain gang, that's what the chain gang originally was. They went out and they were apart. They had chains that linked them together and they went out and they built the railroads. Oh, she's of Irish descent. So am I. I have Irish descent in me. But guess what? She doesn't remember that part of her history uniquely.
Sorry,
she says, after she says, go back to fucking Haiti. Sorry.
I'm thinking about our friends in Ohio.
I'm thinking about our friends in Ohio. So let me get this straight. Jeff Metcalf gets to get on here and spew his racist venom because he's grieving. And she gets to say the horrible, despicable, nasty, vile shit that she just said because she's thinking about our friends in Ohio.
Who've been dealing with these TPS Haitians for years now, who are drunk driving all over their towns and killing people. This is the whole cats and dogs thing.
Drunk driving and killing people. That's not a Haitian thing. That is not a Haitian thing. I hate the fact that these type of people who think the way that she thinks, they hate Black people. They hate immigrants. But immigrants and Black people are what make up this country. Tell them again. They use those poor Haitians now. They want them out like the Latinos. Exactly. So now, are we going to have ICE showing up to drag Haitian people out? And now instead of it being focused on the Latinos, it's now going to be focused on the Haitians. But see, the thing is, if majority of people who think like her were to go and do their own DNA history, their genealogy, they would see that they're foreigners and they don't belong here. So you get out. Go the fuck home. Cool Ass Jazz said, I'm in Ohio. It's the white people committing the crimes here. Shaking my fucking head. Shaking my fucking head.
Like, they don't want to live like Americans live. And this was supposed to be it was supposed to be temporary help. And it's turned into another backdoor way of allowing someone permanent residency here. And they take advantage of all of our public services. Look, this has been going on for
bullshit. Bullshit. One thing I will say, they hate a people with pride. They do. They hate a people with pride. They want to blame everything on people who are for. Listen, first of all, I understand that white people allegedly have the majority of the population in this country. And so therefore, statistically, they're always going to have higher numbers than everybody else. But remember when I went through and I talked about who gets more public assistance in this country, who's on welfare? And it said, white people are on public assistance over every other race and ethnicity here in this country. And that even though they carry the majority in the population, that they still would have a higher ratio than anybody else, a higher percentage of them than anybody else. But this is the blatant shit that's being done now that, you know, a lot of us aren't paying much attention to. But we need to pay attention to the Jake Langs and the Megyn Kellys and the Jeff Metcalfs and Donald Trumps of the world, because I'm sorry, I was reading a comment. The Donald Trumps of the world, because this is where shit is getting ugly. Anyway. Let's keep it moving. So Tania Miller, the woman who came down to Miami to celebrate Juneteenth, well, her story wasn't getting any coverage at all, except for on social media. Well, that all came to a halt when NBC6 in Miami decided to cover Tania Miller's story. And this is what they had to say.
The death of a Michigan woman in South Florida has gained a lot of attention online. Now, a family member is pleading for answers after deputies say that they found her sister dead near Gwen Cherry Park in Miami-Dade County last week. Detectives say that their investigation found no evidence of foul play and say that it appears that she died by suicide. A woman's sister, however, strongly disputes that.
And before we get into what the sister strongly disputes about that, let me just say this. No person of color is going into the woods, into a public area and hanging themselves. Now, I'm not going to say that Black people don't hang themselves, because people do, you know, they do commit suicide. Okay. But that's not something we're going to do in public, in the woods, in a tree. Who the hell is tying a rope? You got to understand, you've got to tie the rope around the base of the tree. Then you've got to climb said tree, and you've got to find a strong enough branch to hold you. Then you've got to wrap said rope around the tree, and you have to tie a noose and then jump from the branch so that you hang and dangle. Ain't no Black person doing that. Ugh, I hate that whenever this happens, they just so dismissively call it suicide.
If anybody knew that my sister Tonay Nicole, that's the last thing she would do. That's the last thing she's thinking about. She loved life too much.
Deputies say Tonay's body was found last Thursday morning. Investigators say her belongings were with her and they found no signs of violence.
Her belongings, and apologies, her name is Tonay. I was calling her Tania. It's Tonay. Her belongings were with her? Oh, that's 25 minutes from your house? Wow. Swag, are you hearing about this? Is anybody talking about it where you're at? And welcome back to the bar, sir. Her belongings were there. Crazy work.
Over the past week, Miller's death has drawn growing attention on social media. Today, the NAACP and community leaders call for transparency in the investigation. The Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office attended today's news conference to say that the case is closed, though they say that they will review any credible new information brought forward.
Based on the totality of the evidence gathered during this investigation, detectives found no evidence that Ms. Miller's death was the result of foul play.
And that's bullshit. Okay, let me explain something to you. The KKK is still alive and well in the United States. They still exist, and they are highly active in Florida. Don't believe me? Do your own research and look it up. Okay? They're just not as prominent and dominant as they once were in this country, but they are still alive and running. They are still here. All right? The way this country is going, keep it up. And I bet you that pretty soon we'll see white hoods marching down the street somewhere. I want to give you guys an update on Cohen Wiley. Cohen Wiley, 4 days ago, Cohen Wiley was laid to rest. His casket was carried out. I'm not sure if these are cousins, but by children. And it was carried to a horse and buggy where his mom and his dad, this is the dad here. The mom is over here. She's the very short woman. This is Ben Crump right here with them. Is that Ben Crump? Yeah, that's Ben Crump. They rode the horse and buggy to young Cohen Wiley's final resting place. If you don't know who Cohen Wiley is the 1-year-old who was shot and killed by police officers in Mississippi. And they said that, you know, someone was stealing Pampers, and he ended up being shot and killed and died in his mom's arms, basically. And so this was the funeral for him. Ben Crump is on the case for this. He is handling this for the family. There's been a couple of blunders that have happened with this, like the mom. She was sitting in a vehicle doing a press conference, kind of giving her side of the story. But I know that Ben Crump didn't have anything to do with that because that's not the way that he handles business. But he did come out and they circled the block and did a proper press release. However, our young people have to do better. And this is where I say I kind of get where India Ari is coming from when she says the things that she says. When she said the things that she said, okay? So this began circling the internet, and it was of his what is her name? Her name is slipping my mind right now. There's so many names in my head. So Cohen's mom must have received some kind of money at the funeral, and she posed with money fans in her pictures. Her social media has since been taken down. I'm quite sure Ben Crump made her do it because the optic was not a good optic. But this is what our young people do. So I'm quite sure she may not be on social media any longer because Ben Crump don't play that. All right. She's young. All right. And I know people be like, you can't keep saying that they're young, but she is young. She's barely out of high school. At least that's what she gives. But yeah, at this particular point in time, optics are everything. Because you've got people looking at this case and looking for the slightest little hiccup. Now, let me tell you what I don't understand about this case, okay? The Walmart is saying that either the mom or the mom's friend, who was the driver of the vehicle, stole some Pampers out of the Walmart. Why hasn't that video been released? You know, normally those videos, they go out to the public and they go to the press and everybody has them. And we get to see that, you know, either, oh, wow, okay, this happened or it didn't happen. We have not gotten the video. Also, I haven't seen anything from the driver. The driver has said nothing. And that's who was being accused of stealing the Pampers. And that's who has said that she had a receipt. So no video, no receipt. What's going on here? Nobody is in court right now. You know, I don't know. The lawsuit hasn't been filed as of yet, but I can guarantee you that there's probably one on the way with Ben Crump on the job. Also, the officer is on administrative leave, but it never said whether it was paid or unpaid. But to my understanding, administrative leave means that you are just not there, but you are still getting paid. So they're still investigating. And my thing is, how long does it take to freaking do an investigation when it comes down to an officer discharging their weapon and shooting and killing an innocent toddler? How long is it going to take for Cohen Wiley to get justice? That baby didn't deserve that. Now, from Tania Miller, we're going to jump over here to Justice Kai James. I'm going to let this video play out because I did speak on this video and it gives you a little bit of an insight into this case. Justice Kai James, a 21-year-old black male who was attending Turner Job Corps in Albany, Georgia. On Sunday, June 21st, Justice was found unconscious in front of the campus's cafeteria. And the family, they're getting conflicting stories from the students, the staff at the school, and police officials. But the one thing that we do know is that the timeline is suspicious as hell from the jump. Because at 8:30 p.m. on Sunday, June 21st, Justice was last seen with his girlfriend. And an hour later, he would be found unconscious, unresponsive in front of the campus's cafeteria, not by staff, but by students. But what even more makes this story strange is the fact that it would be a whole hour and 9 minutes before an emergency call would go out for an unresponsive person at the campus. But during that time, it said that there was CPR that was being done, but he was later pronounced dead at the hospital. So let me give you the timeline on this. At 8:30 p.m., Justice was seen with his girlfriend. At 9:30 p.m., Justice is found unconscious in front of the cafeteria. It's at that time that students found him and CPR is allegedly done. At 10:39 p.m. is when an emergency call goes out for an unresponsive person. What happened in that whole hour? What happened in that hour and 9 minutes? Now, what I did not mention in this story here was in this video, I forgot to mention that there is video footage, but they are refusing to allow the family to view the footage. Yeah. Now, that already is suspect as hell within itself. To add further to the suspicion is the fact that the police are already leaning on a suicide narrative, despite them admitting to the family that they did have a person of interest that they questioned with the mother. Since when do you have a person of interest when you have a clear-cut suicide? It's being said that Justice was either strangled or hung. And the family is saying there's no way in hell that he did that to himself, especially when prior to this incident and earlier in the day on June 21st, Justice went to the emergency room for a dislocated shoulder. The shoulder was dislocated because he was doing flips. So how the hell do you strangle or hang yourself with a dislocated shoulder? Not only that, the students are telling the family that somebody did this to Justice, while officials are telling them not to pay them any mind, that that's just speculation. Now, the crazy part about it is anytime it comes down to a strange fruiting or a suspicious hanging of any kind with us, the first thing they do is they scream suicide. Now, There has been no update on this. The family still has no answers to anything. And there's so many holes in this story, from the timeline to the fact that you have a person of interest, but you're saying that this was a suicide. There's never a person of interest. Now, is the person of interest the girlfriend? Because he was last seen with her. So did you bring her in and question her? What's on the surveillance tapes and why can't the family view them? What are y'all doing with those tapes that they can't see what happened? What happened in that whole hour? Where are the students that were there allegedly giving CPR for that whole hour and 9 minutes? Y'all were giving CPR? Something doesn't sound right. This whole story is just suspicious. And then stories like this get swept under the carpet, and then people don't talk about them anymore, and information becomes limited. And next thing you know, the story disappears. We keep moving on. Now, if you're in the Georgia area and you're watching this, on the replay, or if you're in here right now, please let us know what is being said, what is going on with this case. Is there any rumblings? Because the students are the ones that are telling the family, no, somebody did this to him. And I would think that the students would be more privy to information than school officials and even the police. Because if you remember how the school environment is, the students always know what's going on, even when the staff doesn't. And the only way that the staff finds out is if someone in the student body goes and tells them. So something is going on. What's up with this girlfriend? I have questions. I'm going to keep following the story for you guys. And as I find out information, I will definitely let you know. All right. This will be our last racial tension. And then we're going to get into a little of Pooh Shiesty. All right. So in Lexington, Kentucky, a church thought it a good idea to dress up a black man to portray sin and the devil as they gunned him down with air rifles in the church in front of children.
Take me now, blow him up. Take me now, blow him up.
Take him out, blow him up is what they had the children chanting in this church. Take him out, blow him up. And that is clearly a black man on the steps of the church. Listen, I don't know who to be more angry at. The pastor, the parents, or the man who volunteered to sit up there and portray sin. Whoo, Jesus. And this is at Bible, this is at Bible camp, Bible study camp. Yeah. Now you see this little girl right here is of mixed race. I believe this girl right here might be a child of color. I'm not sure. There's a black little boy there. There's a black mom there. Or a black child. Are you kidding me? These young, impressionable minds are going to remember this. So you have a black man playing sin and the devil. So these children are going to equate what? Sin and evil with black people. And what are you supposed to do with evil and sin? Take them out and blow them up. And this is being taught in a church. Great job, Lexington, Kentucky. Great freaking job at showing us why all people who call themselves Christians are not the same. Racism is not something that people come out automatically having. It's a taught thing. And this is teaching in this. And how do you think those black kids were feeling sitting in that audience, watching him get assault air rifled down? Bop, 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 bop. He's sin and he's evil. So now you're showing these black kids that they're sin and they're evil. This was so highly offensive. But this is the shit that is going on in this world. While we get entertained by celebrity news and gossip, this is the other shit that's going on in this world. And I'm going to keep blending that in with the celebrity gossip when we pour it up, because we need to be paying attention to the shit that's going on in real life. These celebrities ain't going through what we go through on a daily basis. Ooh, this one had me hot. This one had me hotter than fish grease, baby. I wish I could lie to you, but I am not. But anyway, on to our final piece of message for this evening, our last pour. Pooh Shiesty, y'all. The video has been released. Now, in the federal filings, there was no cameras. It said in the federal filing that there were no cameras. Okay? Inside the recording studio where this robbery and kidnapping took place. But they gave us a full account of what happened in that studio. Hold on, let me see if I can pull this up real quick for y'all while we doing all of this. Hold on one second. Let me back up out of here and let's do this. Okay. Okay, let's go here. All right. Approximately 1 p.m., approximately 1:45. And the victims arrived to the meeting as scheduled. Williams Jr.'s father, William Sr., called JN multiple times of the day. He answered. Okay, at approximately 3:39, an employee answered the studio. At approximately 3:30, the target suspects walked through the lobby area of the building. Okay. The 9 individuals entered the studio's control room inside. The victims were watching a football game. CW was positioned in the studio lobby while TD remained in the vehicle they arrived in. Depicted below are photographs of the studio lobby. Okay. The victims overheard Williams Jr. talking on his cell phone, potentially with his probation officer, which, by the way, Pooh Shiesty was sleeping with a volunteer of America to get fake passes and was still getting violated. So while he was on the phone, on his cell phone, telling his probation officer that he had permission to be out, he really did not have permission to be out. Okay, RD told Williams Jr. They could reschedule their studio session, but Williams Jr. requested to speak with RD privately in the attached recording room. RD agreed and entered the recording room with Williams Jr., Williams Sr., and Wright. Meanwhile, MM and BP remained in the control room with the 6 other individuals. BP offered to share liquor. Inside the control room, Williams Jr. produced purported contract termination or release paperwork from a bag and told Gucci Man, who is RD, to sign. When Gucci declined, Pooh Shiesty became agitated and the pair started to argue. MM and BP could see inside the recording room and initially believed that Gucci Man and Shiesty to be discussing business, but MM saw the conversation intensifying. He texted CW, who was still in the music studio's lobby. As the argument inside the recording studio ensued, Williams Jr. instructed Wright to get his bag. Wright complied, leaving the recording room before returning with the bag. Williams Jr. then pulled what appeared to be a black AK-style pistol from the bag and pointed it at Gucci Mane, demanding that Gucci sign the contractual release papers. Gucci complied, signing the paperwork for Pooh Shiesty, while Pooh Shiesty's father and Wright stood by. Gucci was not allowed to leave the recording studio while held at gunpoint by Pooh Shiesty. Wright pulled out a cell phone and purported to record RD. What's this guy's name? Big 30, right? Ain't that his name? Hold on. I want to make sure. Now, I didn't bother to, yeah, Big 30. Big 30 is right. Now, earlier when I posted this to my Instagram, I did not bother to read and did not remember that Big 30 was the one who had pulled out a cell phone and began recording. Okay. He pulled out a cell phone and purported to record Gucci Mane signing the paperwork while being forced to say that he released Pooh Shiesty from their contract. After the release was signed, Pooh Shiesty took Gucci Mane's wedding ring, watch, and earrings and cash. So this is the video of that. Seen the Pooh Shiesty video? Now.
Shit, oh, shit. You dropping this dumb. Bro, let them know it's a goddamn.
Hold on, let me go back. Have y'all seen the Pooh Shiesty video of the Gucci Mane robbery kidnapping? Because that's it right here. Look. You see the firearm right there. It's playing right now.
Shit, oh.
The paperwork is in his hand right here.
What shit? You dropping this dumb. Bro, let them know it's a goddamn, bro.
He's not being allowed to leave. Look. There's the weapon.
Let them know you dropping me. I drop you. No, say it. Who should actually drop from 1017? Shout out to real nigga ain't never did no police or none of that, bro. Tell them what's going on. Bro, we just did that. That's done. What you do? You drop. You said you want to be dropped. You drop. Scrub in. Paper. It's done.
Let's see. But the thing is, Pooh Shiesty did all of this, and guess what? He's still signed to Gucci Mane. Gucci Mane is about to run that bag up on Pooh Shiesty. Everything Pooh Shiesty, Gucci Mane still gonna get paid off of. Because if y'all remember in his song Crash Dummy, remember we was getting on Gucci for that Crash Dummy song? He told Pooh Shiesty, and he did all of that, and he's still signed to him. Talk about the world's dumbest criminals. Now, in this video right here, which I'm probably going to take down because I was like, who did that? Who recorded it? What was your ulterior motive? Because that's something that I definitely would like to know. What was the ulterior motive? Because you pulled out that phone, right? And you started recording. Granted, that's supposed to be the proof that Pooh Shiesty was out of his contract. But let me ask you, what about this show that this was an upstanding release when you have a person who's holding the AK and he's being forced? Gucci Mane was very calm, but I don't know what people expected him to do. I don't know if they expected him to break down crying, be frustrated or whatever. Like, he's from the streets. Gucci's from the streets, so he understands how this go. Let me just go ahead and let me go along with this shit so I can live to see another day. Because if you've got yourself surrounded by people with assault rifles and all of that, and you don't know what it is that they got, where this, you have an idea of where this can go. I'm not about to spaz out, freak out, or give you anything to even want to pop my top. So I feel like Gucci handled this correctly. But now the question becomes, is this the end of the video or is there more? Is Gucci going to take the stand? That's another question that I have. Is Gucci going to take the stand? Right. They wanted Gucci to do some John Wick shit. Like, what? I'm going to do some shit like that when I got an AK to my head? Listen, I feel that way too, because I feel like, well, see, this is their way of trying to show like, hey, he let us out. But you already had the paperwork. So what did you need to record for? Like, why were you recording? Were you recording this so that you could have like some type of insurance policy later? Like, did Pooh make a side deal with you and say, if you come with me on this dummy mission, I'm going to give you X, Y, and Z? And so you have it as like blackmail material. Are you using this as your get out of jail free card? Like, what we using this video for? Like, what was the purpose of the video if you have the paperwork signed? This is just the dumbest shit in the world. Not only that, y'all asses is all on candid camera everywhere you went. And remember, when I first read the paperwork, there's 2 people that had electronic monitors on them that was there committing this crime. So come on, bro. Come on. This was just some dumb shit. Big 30 was on some snake shit, in my humble opinion. And that's just my opinion. But hey, what do I know? Because I'm just a girl. I would be disappointed for real. I would be disappointed. If I was Gucci, I'm taking the stand for show. He did it. Yep, he did it. I seen them with my own eyes. He did it. Well, y'all, that's going to do it for this edition of The Pour Up. Thank y'all for tapping in and tuning in. I'm going to work on my schedule to bring back spiked coffee in the morning because I know you guys missed that morning dose of hot hinty. But make sure that you are following me on this page, Official That Girl Henny on IG. Again, thank you to the 8,945 people that have begun following me over this short period of time. I am so grateful. And I'm appreciative. Finding quality stuff to put out for y'all is not always so easy, but I'm appreciative for every like, every comment, every share that is given. Thank you guys for spending time and space with me tonight. When you guys rest well. Remember that love is always love, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace, everybody.